much is happening in Cross River North Senatorial District, where Governor Ben Ayade and Senator Agom-Jarigbe come from. In the last interview on the morning show, Professor Ayade stated that elections in his senatorial district was marred with irregularities.
Election. I don't want it's before the tribunal. I don't want to discuss the issue. But if I open the gale of the militarization of the Northern Senatorial District, you will know. I come from Northern Senatorial District, where Catholicism is about 90%. The reality is that the people of the North, when you see me drive through, you see the amount of chair. We didn't have a proper election because the military took over the entire state. In fact, when I saw the amount of armored tanks, I just asked myself whether we were in war, or whether there was something specific. Of course, we heard the security reports that they were going to bring in a lot of army to destabilize my senatorial district. This was communicated to the 13th Brigade Commander in my last Security Council meeting, that I hear that there's a lot of intent to bring a lot of army into my senatorial district. The election did not hold. The smallest local government area, which is number 2, the Ogoja local government area, that had never brought votes compared to Yala, now was bringing thousands and thousands of votes. But as you go further, which I don't want to discuss, but you can see clearly that there was no election. It was simply the militarization and just cutting the polling units, driving people away and collecting results and announcing results. Go and check. We have a video we can give to you where somebody was saying, look, for my dear life, I have to feel what they want to feel. It's on video where you have people inside the collation center who are candidates for the election. And as a governor, I am seated in my house. But you have the other candidate moving from collation center to collation center with a team of people armed.
For a right of reply, we are now joined by Senator Jarigbe Agom-Jarigbe of the People's Democratic Party, representing Cross River North Senatorial District in the 9th National Assembly and re-elected in the incoming 10th Senate. Good morning, sir, and welcome to the morning show.
Good morning.
Well, Senator Agom-Jarigbe, you just listened to the governor of Cross River State, Professor Ben Ayade, saying that the election, can you hear me? Hello? Senator Agom-Jarigbe, can you hear me? Are you with us? Hello?
It's not audible.
You are listening? Okay. You just listened to the... You just had Professor Ben Ayade saying that the election in Cross River North is... was militarized. There was scattering of polling units. There was snatching of ballot boxes. And that the matter is before the tribunal. Did you have a hand in the militarization, in the snatching of ballot boxes? And the last time you said, the governor had conceded the last time you were on this program. But apparently that's not true. He says the matter is is a subject of dispute at the tribunal. What's your response?
Okay, thank you very much, Ruben. I actually listened to that interview with my governor. I think that he was just trying to say something. I know that there was proper security for the elections. Before the elections, I found out that the governor had a series of meetings with the security operatives that were posted for that election, that particular election. And he had about 3 meetings with the brigade commander. When he talks about militarizing the whole place, he had about 3 meetings with the brigade commander 2 days before the elections. When I even tried to reach the brigade commander on the phone, he refused to pick my calls and later on blocked my line. I couldn't make contacts with him. So I'm surprised that he would say the whole place was militarized. What happened at the elections was that the security operatives made sure that they did not allow the governor come in with his talks to compromise the electoral process. And he thought that that was the only way he could win the elections. He's the chief security officer of the state. He has the security architecture at his disposal. But the military did not allow it, the police, and that is why the commissioner of police that was sent to conduct the elections in Cross River North was not returned in the second election because he refused and did the right thing. So my governor, Ben Ayade, came to Abuja and made sure that he was redeployed out of Cross River State, out of Cross River North, so that he could bring in people who would do his bidding. And he succeeded in the second elections. So you can see that during the announcement of the results, there was nobody put under duress. The commissioner of police was there. Other security operatives were there. At what point was there a militarization of the elections?
Okay.
Ayade lost the elections and should accept defeat honorably.
All right. Well, thank you, Senator Agom-Jarigbe. So just to clarify and to get you on record, the governor lied about what you did or how the elections played out in Cross River North. True or false?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. How about, talking about his statement, I'm glad you said you watched the interview. He also made a number of claims in the interview in terms of the Bakassi Sustainability Fund. Perhaps you can give a clearer picture of that. He also talked about developments he had made in the state. If you can clarify that as well, just in terms of what he said, because it's important, because he challenged a lot of the facts that we had posed to him when we interviewed him with regards to the numbers on unemployment, numbers in terms of the economy, of the state of economy. He talked about Tinapa, talked about Obudu Cattle Ranch. So it's an opportunity for you, being a member or a citizen or a Cross Riverian, to share with us your perspective. Was he speaking the truth then? Is that the state of things in Cross River? It would be great to get your thoughts on that.
I do not have details on all of that. I'm not part of the government there. But the one thing I know about my governor is that he is sesquipedalian. With that kind of a person, you can only do an on-the-spot assessment of what he has claimed. What makes me different from him and why I could win the elections is that I am very practical and I'm on ground with my people. I will be described as being taciturn as opposed to his person. I think that Arise TV should send some people down there on investigative journalism and do an on-the-spot assessment of what he claims he has done. I will not sit down here to say the governor is lying about those things, he is corrupt. I don't have first-hand information on all of these things. So I cannot sit down here to start throwing tantrums.
Senator Agom-Jarigbe, let me rephrase the question. What's your assessment of the Professor Ben Ayade government? Let me rephrase it in that way. So even if you're not responding directly to what he said, what is your assessment of his tenure?
Of his tenure?
Yes.
Yes, there was a lot of food on the table for the people. That's my assessment of his government.
In 8 years?
In 8 years.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, real quickly. I'd like to know the name of the military officer that you said the governor called prior to your elections. You said he spoke to a military officer, and in turn, when you called that military officer, he didn't pick up your call, blocked it off. I'd like to know the name of that military officer, and I'd also like to know what you did to report such a situation when it happened. And secondly, the other police officer that you said did well, that didn't play according to the game of the governor, that he went to Abuja to redeploy, I'd like to know that name too.
Okay, the military officer is actually the brigade commander of the 13 Amphibious Brigade in Calabar. His name is Brigadier General Emeka. He visited the governor in the guise of security meetings, and the governor had several meetings with him and other security heads in the state, including the director of DSS, the commissioner of police, who was sent to conduct the elections, Garba Aliu, now AIG Zone 7. He had meetings with all of them, and including the commissioner of police who came to Cross River North. You want his name is CP Shetima Zana. So he had meetings with all of these people. But in Cross River North, the right thing was done. And nobody was allowed to rig the elections.
Okay, the police officer you said was changed because he didn't play according to their game, that the governor went to Abuja to influence them taking him. What's his name?
Zana Shetima.
Okay, Zana Shetima. Was Zana Shetima?
Shetima Zana.
Okay.
Senator,
thank you so much.
And then
Go
in
ahead.
the next elections, can you hear me?
Yes,
can
go
you
ahead.
Hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead, sir. I can hear you.
In the next elections, no commissioner of police was posted to Cross River North. He brought in a guy who was posted to Cross River State at his behest. His name is CSP Mohammed Babayola, who took charge of the elections in the North. And no commissioner of police was posted to Cross River North, while other senatorial districts had commissioners of police posted there. And Babayola came in and did the hatchet job for Ben Ayade and his party.
What do you mean by hatchet
in the
job?
next elections. And that is what he wanted in the first.
Can you state specifically what the job?
The militarization actually.
The hatchet job done.
Militarization actually took place. Yes, he was everywhere, chasing people in the opposition, arresting the opposition and taking them away. He did all sorts. He came in the first elections, but the commissioner of police made sure that he kept him at the area command and did not allow him move around. The governor had come to Abuja and asked for the special forces. So the special forces came with the military, with armored personnel carriers to Cross River State. They were deployed to Cross River North.
Senator,
But he could not use them against me in that elections.
Senator, if you can hear me.
And that's why he became hysterical. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. What is the status of the matter now at the tribunal? We would like to know. And then secondly, during the campaigns and even after, you promised to provide electricity to Yala, Goja, Obalinku, the Bekwara community, the same area that Governor Ayade comes from. How far have you gone with that? Because there's one, I know one guy, I think in this Arise News, he's from Obalinku, and only yesterday he was boasting that he's from a city. I told him he's from a village, and you know, they don't have electricity there for the past 7 years. So what have you, how far have you gone with your promise to provide the electricity there? And then the status of the matter before the tribunal.
Oh, thank you. We are at the stage of pre-hearing. The matter is before the tribunal. You know, why some people go to court is because they believe that the judges have a price. But right now, I think that the judiciary is on trial and they will do the right thing. I don't think that the judiciary will be influenced by whoever. The practice these days is that it's better to know the judge rather than know the law. But things are beginning to change. And I have trust in this very tribunal that they are going to do justice to it, because Ayade has no proper course of action before that tribunal.
Yeah, the electricity you are
As
promising.
it concerns the issue of electricity, right now, we can do an on-the-spot assessment of what is going on. There is electrification of the rural communities around Bekora ongoing at the moment. And if you send people there, you will see that they are working. And we'll continue to do our best to make sure that we capture the electrification of other rural communities in the budgets, in the Appropriations Act, as we start the next term in office.
All right. Senator Agom-Jarigbe, may I just ask you, Jarigbe, can I just ask you, the opportunity of having you here to give your take on what's going on with the zoning formula with the APC and the 10th, looking ahead at the 10th National Assembly. Would the PDP be looking at making alliances with the other opposition parties to perhaps take a shot at getting some principal positions in the House for the 10th Assembly?
When you talk about the APC, I am not of the APC. And you heard my governor say in his last interview, he said something like, the party wasn't romantic in its approach. When Ruben Abati took him up on that, he said it was the sociology of English or sociolinguistics. You can see that the APC has not done well, taking a cue from what Ayade said. So, for me, I'm a member of the PDP, I'm from the South-South, I'm in the minority caucus. We are still meeting, we have not taken a decision. But we're having a retreat in Uyo. We'll chart a way forward as we move on. Politics is about consultations and the preponderance of opinion. When we take a decision, we'll go with it to the end. But we are not going to be to decide who leads the Senate based on what APC says. It will be based on our convictions.
All right. That's about it. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Agom-Jarigbe, Senator Agom-Jarigbe, for your time, Dr. Bati.
Thank you very much.